Welcome to Your Good News. I'm Rena Sargentopoulos. This is a show dedicated to nothing but things that will make you smile, or at least help you find hope and faith in humanity. The world is a rough place, and sometimes we just need to hear some of the good things going on. Let's start with one of the best stories I've seen in a while. Well, it may not sound like good news right off the top. You just gotta wait for it, trust me. It involves an act of heroism on a Brainerd school bus that began with a serious medical emergency. The Crow Wing County Sheriff says a 74-year-old bus driver fell and hit his head right before his shift, but didn't know anything was wrong until he was already driving the kids to school. Here's Kent Dirtle.
He's our hero, and nobody can replace you.
Love for Brainerd bus driver Peter Lodermeyer was overflowing at Riverside Elementary Wednesday.
Peter's been my favorite bus driver.
But when fourth grader Lucy Marshall got on the bus Tuesday, she could tell something was wrong.
So I noticed that his ear was like red and like it looked like dry blood. And he kind of didn't like see himself, kind of.
Fellow fourth grader Cabe Story says he grew more concerned when the bus skipped just its second stop near the high school.
And he like just passed right by it. Like I was like, Peter, you missed the stop. And then he shook his head. Then he like pulled over on like this like side road, and he opened the door and said, "This is somebody's stop." And I said, "No."
And Lucy didn't stop there.
I got on the walkie-talkie and said, "Bus 64 needs help," because he wasn't acting right.
Shortly after that radio call, the kids say Peter did manage to stop the bus right here, about 5 miles south of town on County Road 45. They then say he opened the doors, told them all to get out, which they did, and then he kept driving.
It's like there's 35 of us on the road with no bus driver.
That's when Cabe stepped up.
Because everybody was like crying and stuff. I was saying, it will be okay. So like I could like cheer them up kinda to like make them feel better. Then a car came and the police came.
So we were all, racing to that area to try to find out where the bus was at.
Sheriff Eric Kling says they eventually located the bus and Peter.
He was able to say his name, but after that it was nothing. He was in a very serious state, so prayers out to him.
Peter is loved.
Principal Jill Bjorgi says that's evident in all those cards. And just like Monday, Lucy's speaks loudest.
You're the best bus driver ever. I'm praying that you're getting better. Unbelievably proud. I'm so thankful. I'm thankful we have a leadership program here at Riverside, and Lucy participates in many of the activities because she's just a natural born leader. I am so thankful she took charge and that Cabe helped support. To be able to understand how to respond in a crisis like that is unbelievable.
Well, an update for you. The bus driver, Peter Lodermeyer, is out of the hospital and recovering well. And the two kiddos, Lucy and Cabe, they were honored by the school board for their quick thinking and bravery. Now, here's a good news update for you from a story you may remember from a few weeks ago. Layla Terrell from Anoka had her disability bike stolen, and her family couldn't afford a new one. Through the generosity of our community, ta-da! Here is Layla's new bike. It is pink, her favorite color, has a bell, and a removable basket. Her mom says she loves it, and she is also very grateful for everyone who donated. Well, in our world of autocorrect and predictive text, a 14-year-old spelling sensation just might make you feel a little self-conscious about your skills. But before you grab a dictionary to brush up, take a look at her amazing success. Here's Riley Mack from our sister station in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
A defining feature of any school, its library.
Yeah.
But a feature of this library, a bit harder to define. She's astonishing. She's marvelous. She's
Elliott. E-L-L-I-O-T-T. Elliott.
She's Elliott Covell. The 14-year-old making an easy A out of the spelling bee.
I've always loved English language arts. I had a soccer practice on Sunday, and I could not focus on running down the field because I just had so many words floating through my head and I had to spell them.
For your average 8th grader, it's not quite as easy as ABC.
Hopefully not.
For Elliot, it's as easy as
Contumelious. C-O-Destitute. T-U-D-E. Hierarchical. H-I-Z-E-R. Z-E-L-I-T-I-N-A-N-T. Conglutinant.
yeah, that.
I study Greek and Latin roots a lot. I can try and use those Greek and Latin roots to build up the word and have a higher chance of getting it right.
How many words are you studying?
Over 2,000, and then we got to move on to the dictionary.
Entering the Greater Grand Rapids Bee, Elliot brought her A game.
My family has a long line of spelling bee winners,
And her BCDEF game, too.
so I obviously had to do it. I am introverted. It is pretty hard for me. Your hands are shaking, your whole body is shaking. I would look at the announcer's eyes and then look right down at his tie, because if his face drops, then I'm doomed.
Then came the final word.
Hagiographer. H-A-G-I-O-G-R-A-P-H-E-R. Hagiographer.
And a new champion.
Euphoric. The crowd exploded in applause. I looked at my parents.
What was really funny was looking at my husband. He's so tense, and as soon as she spelled that word correctly, he just went, oh.
Fitting that she inherited a love of learning
I'm Kristen Cavell. I'm Elliot's mom.
from a teacher.
When she would take tests at school, she would come home and have a little list of the words that she encountered that she didn't know. And then we would look them up together, and that was fun for her. She does what she enjoys doing, regardless of it not being necessarily what the average person would do.
There has not been a female winner since 2015. That just wasn't okay for me. So I wasn't just winning it for me, I was winning it for all the girls out there.
Undefinable Elliot.
What is it like to be Elliot's mom? Lots of pride, trust me.
Bound for spelling's national B and leaving us
Spellbound. S-P-E-L
with your something special.
U-N-D. Spellbound.
I'm Riley Mack.
M-A-C-K. Mac.
The Scripps National Spelling Bee is held in Washington, D.C. this year. It will be held on May 26th through the 30th. Good luck, Elliot. Coming up, how two clothing competitors join forces and the other differences between them that just somehow works. Plus, we get a peek behind the scenes with a look at the sculptor who created Joe Mauer's bronze statue. But first, here's some of the good news you shared with us this week. Gary Gilmer sent in these pretty pics. My orchid from my sister Jean Jocelyn started blooming in January.
Very cool.
Very hard to keep those alive, so good job, buddy. And Brenda Shaw sent in this sweet remembrance. She says, although Gabby passed in January, her 12 years of obedience competition accomplishments are memorialized in some of her ribbons that are stitched into a quilt. The center rosette is from her UKC National Championship. Gabby is asleep in our hearts, but remembered every day. Give your pets an extra hug today. It's hard to see that quilt, but it is so beautiful up close.
Great accomplishment.
Yeah, and Kathy Grusing from Shakopee says, this is Teddy. He turns 4 later this month. He makes us laugh and warms our heart every day.
Look at that smile, too.
Little extra tooth sticking out there. You gotta love that. Gosh, dogs are great. Welcome back. In the era of fast fashion, there are two clothing guys in Minneapolis who are doing things old school. But recently, it includes a new take on their business relationship. Joe McCoy shows us why the two competitors, after 35 years, are now under one roof.
From outside this old school warehouse in Minneapolis's North Loop.
Oh, here's a really nice one.
You may not suspect there is a world of endless creations.
I'll take a lavender. You would. Good. That's what I would think.
Meet John Megan.
Still looks like a solid.
The president of Top Shelf Custom Clothing.
I would go here.
And a man who has dedicated the last 50 years of his life to making other men look like $1 million.
Spot on.
John is working with a client
I like that.
on 2 new custom dress shirts.
Almost 2 inches.
But although measuring a client is something John has done 1,000 times,
17.
the space he is doing it in
Underneath.
is anything but familiar.
I knew the minute I sent John the letter, if he came over here, it was like we've been in business together forever.
In 1990, Daniel Stensgaard founded Daniel's Custom Clothing.
I grew up on a farm.
In November, he moved business from the Lumber Exchange building to here. And 4 months later, he asked one of his biggest competitors to move in 5 feet away.
2 businesses under one roof, sharing a space.
Late last year,
big enough.
John sold the early 1900s mansion he had worked out of for 25 years. He wasn't ready to hang up the tape measure, but didn't know where to take top shelf. Then Daniel sent that letter.
John replied within an hour, came over the next day, and we went upstairs and spent 2 hours together, and that was it.
We shook hands.
One thing I love about your guys' relationship, besides just the two of your personalities, is in this political climate, a Republican and a Democrat coming together and working 5 feet away from each other.
Yes. Yeah. Daniel, and I had a very brief conversation, probably took 3 minutes, and he said, I know where you're coming from and you know where I'm coming from, but let's not even put that on the table. It's not something that we have to bring into a place of business.
So business is what they focused on.
Consider this wall the library of fabrics. Dozens of books of the finest fabrics from Italy and England available for the customer to choose from.
This is why I do what I do. Look at that.
Many times, clients allow Daniel or John to build their wardrobe for them.
It's what makes our job fun. I want to keep him on the edge of fashion, but if he's an understated gentleman, you have to be careful.
Some customers have legal boxes full of their files for as long as I've been making them their clothes.
Since both have a Rolodex of clients and John isn't looking for new ones at the moment, competing for business is not an issue.
I'll be honest with you, it's the most comfortable thing I've had.
In the era of fast fashion, these guys take it slow.
The bulk of our business is in a range between $1,200 and $2,900.
For John, the starting price is a bit higher at $2,200. But if you want a suit made from the Rolls-Royce of fabrics, you might have to take out a second mortgage.
What would something like this Vicuna run you? This is one of the rarest fabrics in the world.
The cost of a 2-piece suit is going to be about $27,000 for a 2-piece suit made of Vicuna suiting.
Have you sold a Vicuna suit before?
Absolutely. I've had wives hand me a check under the table and say, just do it. P3-1.
So as John and Daniel continue writing new orders,
okay, we're set.
They will be doing so as comrades instead of competitors.
It's a joy to have a man with the fabric knowledge and just the knowledge, period, of having John next to each other. It's actually fun.
In Minneapolis,
it's a new home.
Joe McCoy, KARE 11 News.
It's a new home.
So cute. Now, these clothes are not just for men. Daniel says 15% of his business is now female clients. Well, as the Minnesota Twins season rolls on, there's a big job afoot off the field. Work is underway right now to put hometown hero Joe Mauer in bronze. Tonight, Kent Erdahl introduces us to the man immortalizing Mauer and gives us a sneak peek at his process.
The statues outside Target Field have a sort of gravitational pull on Twins fans each season.
He's rounding that second base, man. He knew it was game over.
With stars of each generation immortalized in their signature moments.
Harmon with his home run, he knew it was like to hit it. His hands were important.
And the man who helped give those players their shine is now getting ready to unveil the next attraction.
They're going to love the pads, the glove, the ball.
Hall of Fame catcher.
There's the sideburns.
Joe Mauer.
That's about what they are. He's got a little bit of gray hair now.
Bill Mack would certainly know the legendary Minnesota artist didn't just have old Twins photos to pore over.
I took so many shots all the way around.
Yes, Joe himself paid a visit to strike the perfect pose.
I think it's a runner between second and third, his eyes, his body, but he did that right here for us.
Bill gave us a rare preview of his sculpture, and though we can't show it all, you can see it's a feast for the eyes.
Catcher's just got more gear. It's sort of fun to do it. Pain in the ass a little bit, but all that detail, but in the end, it's what makes it, I think, pretty nice, a little bit better.
And this little clay maquette isn't even the half of it.
So this is where it happens?
Yeah, this would be all the big sculptures.
This is where each of his larger-than-life twin statues took shape before they were cast in bronze.
I did Harmon, Carew, and Puckett all at the same time. Now, talk about overwhelming.
And because sculpting such a big lineup required a ladder, it also overwhelmed his body over the years.
7 ankle surgeries during those sculptures.
Which now keeps him more grounded.
Recently, we have decided to cut them up. And then I can take a part home. You can see up here, those are all parts of the sculptures that take Kirby's head off.
And despite how it looks,
and he's got his mouth open,
it helped him stay off the injured list.
That was a good one.
This time.
When they said it's Joe Mauer and he's going to be a catcher, it's only going to be that high. It's not going to kill me.
It's not going to intimidate him either. From Arthur Ashe to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill's work is already featured in many halls of fame and on college hockey's biggest award. And if you didn't know, he says that's the point.
It really isn't about me at all. I'm just a tool, and that's a person. And I'm trying to replicate what I see. If I went and told somebody I did it, they wouldn't even care. And that's the way it should be. I mean, it's about the player and the tribute to that player.
Which brings us back to Joe.
I thought he'd be difficult, but he was easy. Him being here and still looking like Joe, and his wife, so helpful. I had the clay of the life-size head, and when he saw it, just lit up. I nailed him, trust me on that one. He said it, she said it, I felt it.
And now he simply hopes the fans feel it too.
They should really enjoy it and get pictures taken with it. I wanted to do a good job for the twins.
In Minneapolis, Kent Erdahl.
I'm lucky I can do it.
KARE 11 News.
Well, here's a fun update for you. Joe Mauer's statue was just unveiled in a special ceremony. Here's a peek at the finished product. He did nail it, doesn't he? Looks just like him. You can check it out for yourself the next time you are at Target Field. You will find Joe right outside gate 34. Well, still to come, more kids doing incredible things. The youngest retailer at the Mall of America and the story behind her tasty success. But first, here's some more of your good news that you shared with us this week. Corey Harbison sent in this picture of some pretty pansies, simply saying, because they bring me joy. Now, flowers do have a way of lifting your spirits, don't they? We hope you enjoy them, Corey, but what does Ben say about planting them yet?
Go ask Bobby Jensen.
It's probably not Mother's Day. It's usually like the rule, right? Sam Handel says, this is my engagement photo with my beautiful fiance, Allie, and the 2 dogs, Hank and Oakley, that we have. Congrats, Sam and Allie. Please send pics of Hank and Oakley in their tuxes when that big day happens. You know I love me some short-legged dogs.
They kind of look like they have tuxes on.
Gosh, they're cute little buddies there. And Susan Freevald says, this is my granddaughter, Hazel, who loves dolls, basketball, and more dolls. For her 7th birthday this week, she got to choose a doll and style it, and she created a mini-me. I don't know if you can see this, but from the headband to the jean jacket, the little side shoulder bag, flower dress, and tennis shoes. Oh my gosh, happy birthday, Hazel. Love that so much.
Happy birthday.
Welcome back. A new business just launched at the Mall of America hasn't even been open for 2 months, and it's already being called a success. But it turns out the new owner is a winner, whether her business booms or not. Boyd Hupert shares one sweet success story.
Come to Nickelodeon Universe at Mall of America, and you'll see familiar cartoon characters. And a new one.
That's a cartoon version of me.
The cartoon version of Eden Esparza.
Yeah.
At the Coaster Cafe.
It's so exciting.
Where Eden just pulled off.
Hello.
The seemingly impossible.
This one so far has been our best seller. It's her green slime vanilla.
But first, you gotta hear
Yes.
how this ride started.
Oh, that's my girl.
Enrico and Sharon, Eden's parents, saw in their 3-year-old a spark for baking.
Hi guys, hi guys, my name is Eden. You might have heard of me before.
By 5, she was making videos.
So today we're going to be making mango lassi.
And by 8, hawking cupcakes at a car dealership.
Yeah, we were buying a car, so she's like, great opportunity. She went to every cubicle.
But Eden's favorite mode of transportation was here.
I always remember going on the carousel with my dad and brother.
Yet no one expected the girl in the carousel photo to go on to do this.
Hi, my name is Eden Esparza. I'm a young entrepreneur.
That's the voicemail Eden left at the mall.
I sell customized cake pops Please call me back as soon as you can. Bye.
A call that landed with food manager Barb Ross Hayes.
Yeah, it leaves you speechless, right? How wild is it that an 11-year-old girl cold called the Mall of America to see if she could sell her product here?
About as wild
I was a little bit intimidated.
as Eden making a pitch in a Mall of America boardroom.
It's a fun experience for people to have as a treat while they're visiting the mall.
First, get them off of the floor.
But you don't just start delivering.
Look at that.
Hundreds of handmade cake pops
These ones are the green slime.
to a mega mall. Eden needed a commercial kitchen,
So this is Polynesian purple, the outside color.
which her parents,
It's all about the support.
helped her rent.
Hugs and good grades. That's her payment method.
Eden also needed a commercial license.
I studied for like 3 hours every day for 2 weeks straight.
She took the proctored test online.
She said, they're asking for my driver's license. And I said, Eden, did you tell them that you're only 13? So she went back and told them, I'm only 13, I have my school ID. And she passed it.
If the name on the license is vaguely familiar, this may be why. That's Ethan Esparza.
I think he's a good businessman.
Nice day out.
Eden's suited up older brother,
Hi.
featured on Carol Evan in 2007, selling lemonade.
Next year would be a half a decade I've done it.
Half a decade.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Today, Ethan owns a real estate business,
I want to be like him. I want to be an entrepreneur.
with Eden hot on his trail.
What a pretty bouquet.
She's in the kitchen this Saturday because the mall ran out of her cake pops,
I'm happy that people are loving it.
perfected by Eden mostly through trial and error.
Well, I'm already, yeah.
Green slime vanilla.
Dressed in Nickelodeon colors,
Oh, they're all delicious.
Eden's Cake Pops launched in February to rave reviews,
Yeah. The kids love them.
as did Eden.
I might work for her someday.
That's all she wants is a cake pop.
Not a thing wrong with little girls having amusement park-sized dreams.
Without her calling me back, none of this would have happened.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you.
Boyd Rupert, Carol Evan News,
It's been a fun ride.
Mall of America.
Gosh, I bet her parents are so proud. All right, let's take a final listen to some of your good news that you shared with us this week. Jane in Minneapolis says this is Sugar. She loves her cat tower perch and watches out the window or just takes a nap up there. Sugar's a rescue dog from Underdog Rescue and keeps me walking and smiling. Good company and helps you get your steps in. Good girl, Sugar.
I gotta get that for my dog too. They would love that.
I bet they would. Jerry says Declan is my great-grandson. Grandpa drew a dinosaur because he loves them, and then he drew on himself. I don't know if you can see it there, but he drew all over his legs and his diaper.
I see that.
It was so cute. He drew on himself, and then he growled. He said, well, Jerry, you have a budding Picasso or a paleontologist, or maybe both. Who knows, right? We have more dinosaur lovers today. Proud Grandma Barb says my twin grandsons turned 3 years old. Arlen and Grady are lovers of everything dinosaur.
What kid isn't just a dinosaur lover at that age?
Well, they got their own little cakes too. They didn't even have to share. That's very sweet. I love that. So, Dick Miller and Marsha Mora say our toy poodle George is an honorary member of our local Alfa Romeo Owners Club. Last week at Maplewood Mall, he got in some driving practice. So it was you who cut me off, George. Get more practice in.
So cute.
Isn't he cute? Deborah Martin says Dakota turned 2 yesterday. He loves playing with other dogs and everyone he meets, even the mailman. He's a very good boy and brings much joy to our lives. Aww. Happy birthday, Dakota. And Hazel McCrory shared some pictures of her happy place, which she says is the Winnebago Area Museum. The second photo coming up here, she says this is the men buttering bread for a fundraiser. I defy you to find anything cuter than this today. I mean, look at that. They're just getting ready for a fundraiser, buttering the bread.
Buttering the bread.
It's so cute. Donna DeFore says this is my cat Norman. He's 6.5 years old, weighs 18 pounds. He's an orange marmalade. Norman is very friendly and runs to the door whenever I have visitors. That is a very handsome Mr. Man. That's a really pretty cat, isn't it?
Marmalade is a good name for a cat, I think, too.
I don't even know if that's a real thing, but I just... Rick Hokinson says, my good news involves the arrival of these two cuties. This past Friday, our first goat, Nina, kidded on Friday the 4th, beginning the kidding season for our small but loving goat farm. Meet Toby and Tonka. They're already up, running around, sampling water and being curious little baby goats. This is the happiest time of year, and we have 2 more goats coming by the end of April. Goats really are very cute, aren't they?
Happy kid season.
Happy kid season. Here's some really great news, actually. Gary Riley says 2.5 years after lung surgery, which was followed by 22 infusion treatments, there is no sign of cancer. A heartfelt thank you to Dr. Jacobson and the oncology department at Lakeview Hospital in Stillwater, as well as Dr. Baldwin and the surgical team at Regents Hospital in St. Paul. And to all the nurses and so many others who continue to watch over me through this adventure, there are no words that can express how grateful I am for these wonderful people.
That is some great news.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah.
We love to hear that. Well, thanks for joining us for Your Good News. If you'd like to share your good news with us, we do it every day at the end of our 4 p.m. newscast. Just send us an email to yourgoodnews@kare11.com and be sure to add pictures or video of what you'd like to share with us. Do you have a new baby? Your granddaughter got married? Maybe you beat cancer, or you simply shared some good times with good friends. We want to hear about it. And until we see you again, have an excellent week, friends.